The Brazilian election had barely ended before right-wingers here in the US attempted to put their own unique spin on it. And this tweet is just chef's kiss. Fox News put out this tweet saying, Brazil presidential election, Jair Bolsonaro proves polls wrong, forces socialist opponent into runoff. So first of all, there's just a lot of good stuff there. So one, did he beat the polls? Yes, he did beat the polls. But he also lost. So it's weird to frame it as him winning when De Silva won. And then also you'll notice, like De Silva doesn't even get named, just socialist opponent. And Bolsonaro, he's just a guy, a regular guy. We don't need to apply any ideological labels to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
he didn't lose. That's so funny. That is so funny.
It is very funny. So Lula da Silva got 48.4% of the vote to Bolsonaro's 43.23%, so it was close. Da Silva needed more than 50% to avoid a runoff. So there is going to be this runoff, and in advance of it, there are others besides Fox who are excited about this. Donald Trump bleated, "Congratulations to Bolsonaro on greatly outperforming." No, but he did outperform. You don't need to put it in the quotations. He outperformed.
Please, somebody explain quotations to him.
100%. Fake news media polls. So again, De Silva doesn't even get mentioned. Just a radical left challenger. Blah, blah, blah. Tremendous voter surge, whatever. And Bolsonaro replied with this interesting screenshot of Donald Trump. And then, thank you, my friend Trump. And a whole bunch of, why is that what he picked? I kind of like that. That's my favorite thing that Bolsonaro has ever done. I don't like the other stuff where he wants to kill every indigenous person and tear down all of the trees and set the country back like 50 years. I don't like any of that stuff, but I do like the screenshot he picked. Now, Francesca, I know you had been eagerly awaiting these results, so what do you make of it?
He is so Sauron, dude, speaking of which, just like, killing the trees.
Yeah,
I think that's all he does, like crushing them, commanding orcs like crazy right wingers.
They don't like the sun. That's why they wear the hats.
Yeah. No, okay, look, so I feel personally pretty confident that from the things I read that Lula will win on October 30th when the runoff happens. Obviously, we know this is a multi-party political system, one of the healthy political systems in the world, arguably more democratic than ours. So the runoff makes sense. I think this is the way to do it. It's not just automatically assigning Lula the presidency. And it's hugely important that he win. And it's also hugely important that he maintain a certain amount of seats in parliament because of the ways that previous president Dilma Rousseff was taken down was effectively by other legislators, and the fact that the Congress was not in her favor, and the Workers' Party, which was her party and is Lula's party, was able to effectively do like a parliamentarian coup against her. So that's really key to make sure that the Workers' Party actually has more seats, so they can defend Lula should he win. I think Bolsonaro is a lot of talk. I think there will be violence, but I don't think he will attempt to stay in power if he loses. And I think he is going to lose. The last thing I say,
really, you said you don't think that he's going to attempt to use force to stay in power?
I don't believe so, because I do think the loss will be resounding enough. Now, that being said, if it is super close, like within a couple points. Yeah, I mean, we shall see.
But what if it's largely the gap it is right now? What if Lula gets 51, Bolsonaro gets 46 or something? No, you don't think so?
I don't personally think so. But then again, like, I obviously could be. I mean, Bolsonaro's insane. He's an insane person, and the military is divided. It seems like some people support him, some don't. And yeah, it is a country that has like been through coups. Unlike ours, we do the coupping and we're less used to it. Yeah. So
I don't know, man. You obviously know a lot more about the politics there. I'm just reading what Bolsonaro has been saying. And he sure seems to be readying his fans for a violent takeover. And I'm also following my gut. Like if he were to dispatch the military and they kill 5,000 Lula supporters or something the first day or something, Fox News is gonna be talking about how this is a desperate last stand against the radical socialists who rigged the vote. That's my fear.
I
is
really
the interpretation.
hope. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I do. Like I'm saying, I think there will be violence. I don't think that violence will rise to the level of trying to stay in power, and it's definitely not thousands of people dead. I mean, knock on wood. But don't forget it. Like there will be massive outcry if something like that ever happened.
I hope so. Well, look, your predictions thus far this year have been very good. You notably predicted the invasion of Ukraine 2 months before it happened.
Yes, sorry.
I'm gonna give you credit for that. Regrettably, add this to the list of things that you will not be around to comment on directly. Where if it does happen, maybe we can Skype you in. I don't know, but we're not gonna have you. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm worried. I mean, he keeps talking about it. Again, he's in charge right now, just like Trump. They love to pretend that the person who isn't in charge is rigging the vote. And also, the polls are all lies. And why are the polls lies? Well, because if they lie in the polls, then when they rig the vote, it lines up with the polls. So then why didn't they rig the vote? Why didn't Lula get 52% of the vote? Like, I love when they give like the it's always so they can do this, but then they don't do it. Well, that doesn't mean that you have to rethink your argument. It's weird how that works out.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.